Earthquake mystery as devastation preceded by a strange wobble. This is according to a new geological study. The Earth wobbled before two of the strongest earthquakes in recent history, according to an astonishing new study. The discovery could potentially alert scientists to the danger of megaquakes, megathrust quakes, major earthquakes brewing in the seismically active parts of the world. One of the most active parts, of course, the Ring of Fire. 75% of volcanic eruptions, 90% of the world's earthquakes happen here. According to scientists at the Ohio State University, one such wobble preceded the biggest earthquake to ever strike Japan, the magnitude 9 earthquake of 2011. It also was a triple whammy, the earthquake, the tsunami, and the Fukushima nuclear disaster. Now, in months leading to the so-called Tohoku Oki earthquake, the country's land masses shifted from the west to the east and then back again. So they were going back and forth. A similar event occurred before the 2010 Maule earthquake in Chile that peaked at a magnitude 8.8 earthquake. Both events struck along the Pacific Rim of Fire, which overlaps the Ring of Fire, the Pacific Rim. This is a hotbed of volcanic activity and earthquakes triggered by tectonic plate motion. And Michael Bevins, study co-author, professor of earth sciences at The Ohio State University, says, what happened in Japan was an enormous but slow wobble, something never observed before. But are all giant earthquakes preceded by wobbles of this kind? We don't know because we don't have enough data. This is one more thing to watch for when assessing seismic risk in subduction zones like those in Japan, Sumatra, the Andes, and Alaska. The wobbles may have been too weak for anyone to notice, but a network of more than 1,000 GPS stations spread across Japan collected enough data to show movement of about 5 millimeters each month in the months before the deadly March 11, 2011 earthquake. The Tohoku Oki earthquake struck about 43 miles or 70 kilometers east of Tohoku region, Japan's Honshu Island. The earthquake caused parts of Japan's coastline to sink. It collapsed more than 120,000 buildings, and it produced a tsunami that led to the Fukushima nuclear disaster, the biggest nuclear accident since Chernobyl of 1986. Japan's Prime Minister Naoto Kan said at the time, in the 65 years after the end of World War II, this is the toughest and most difficult crisis for Japan, he said. Although the Earth's land masses are always on the move, Professor Bevins said the wobble stands out from Earth's natural cycles. He says the world is broken up into plates that are always moving in one way or another. Movement is not unusual. It's the style of movement that's unusual. Now, the research team involved scientists from Germany, Chile, and US. They found Japan's landmass shifted between 4 to 8 millimeters to the east, then to the west, and then back again to the east. Although it remains to be seen whether these wobbles will happen again before the next major earthquake, there's a chance they could be used to predict future cataclysms such as this. Jonathan Bedford of GFZ, German Research Center for Geosciences, who led the study, said, the findings can't be applied to other parts of the world without comprehensive GPS networks in place. Before the Chile earthquake, for instance, a similar wobble took place, but the data collected was only just good enough to capture the signal. Dr. Bedford said we really need to be monitoring all major subduction zones with high-density GPS network as soon as possible. In their study, the scientists proposed installing stations around the globe that will monitor signals from the GPS satellite systems. The network could allow seismologists to track non-steady surface motion of tectonic plate movements before cataclysms strike. He said modeling of the surface displacement reversal that occurred before the Japan earthquakes suggests an initial slow slip followed by a sudden pull down of the Philippine sea slab, so rapid that it caused a viscoelastic rebound once across the whole of Japan. It's like pulling a rubber band and letting it go. That's what happens. Therefore, to understand better when large earthquakes are imminent, We must consider not only the evolution of plate interface frictional process, but also the dynamic boundary conditions from deeper subduction processes such as sudden densification of metastable slabs. So this is something totally new in geology. Thank goodness they saw this, they noticed this, and hopefully they'll be able to study it a lot more. Hopefully, though, we won't have earthquakes as big as this. This is on Express UK by Sebastian Ketley. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.